this? Because people are going to be a bit nervous. She said this before, then she discovered it was a problem. Will we discover in 2 years' time that there's some reason why they've got to go up?
No.
Or is this an absolute commitment?
It's an absolute commitment, but
Oh, well, that has aged like milk, hasn't it? That is Rachel Reeves a year ago talking to Trevor Phillips on Sky News, insisting that is an absolute commitment that she will not hike your taxes again. But we have found out on Friday that she has confirmed to the OBR that she plans to raise income tax in this autumn budget. That was their flagship manifesto pledge, to not raise income tax. And now it's happening.
Just say this, we've now wiped the slate clean under the mismanagement and the chaos of the previous government. It's now on us. We've put everything out into the...
Did you hear that? It's now on us. It is our responsibility, the Labour Party, to make sure that taxes don't go up again. Yet the other day she sat there at a press conference and 45 minutes droned on about how none of this is her fault.
Open. Okay. We've set the spending envelope for the course of this Parliament. We don't need to come back for more. We've done that now. We've wiped the slate clean.
So she's wiped the slate clean. That's what she said last year. She says, I've planned the spending for the rest of Parliament, and I know we don't need to take any more of your money. Well, how has that turned out? Oh, my goodness.
So you're saying, actually, there's not going to be an Oliver Twist moment. You're not going to come back and say, we want another tax rise. Or if you did, that would be a huge failure for your government, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be able to write 5 years' worth of budgets on this show today, but what we have done, there's no need.
Will there be more tax rises?
No, you're right, Trevor. There is no need to come back with another budget like this. We never need to do that again.
We will never, ever, ever need to do that again. Here we are, a year later, folks, round 2.
Trevor, set the spending envelope for the remainder of this Parliament. We don't need to increase taxes further. We need to do 2 things now. We need to reform our public services to make sure they work better, and we need to grow our economy.
Oh, and she hasn't done either of those things. She hasn't sorted our public services out, and she hasn't grown the economy at all. It is absolutely failing. We've got dismal predictions. No chance of us getting anywhere near 2 or 3% growth. The best we might achieve is 1.6% if we are lucky. Now let's take a look at Lisa Nandy trying to defend income tax rises today.
Look, we take our promises very, very seriously, and we did make specific commitments around tax in the manifesto. But we were also elected on a promise to change this country. And through the record investment that we've been able to put into the National Health Service, we're seeing waiting times coming down and more appointments being made available. On a whole range of measures, we're delivering the change that people want to see. We are going to have to make difficult decisions in order to do that.
With respect to your own time, I just asked if you agreed with Lucy
I'm not going to
Powell.
write the budget live on air.
No, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking if you agreed with Lucy Powell or not.
Well, I agree with Lucy Powell that promises matter. I also agree with her that the situation that this government inherited is very challenging. We've got to make fair choices. And like she said, in answer to a question about this, she will, of course, always support the Chancellor to make the right decisions in the interests of the country.
OK.
So as you can see, a bit of a rift emerging already between the outsider candidate Lucy Powell, who won deputy leader, and of course Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer's approach. So a bit of a rift emerging, but officially, of course, Lucy Powell's got to be on side with what her Chancellor and Prime Minister say. But again, just going back to her response there about income tax, she says, oh, well, we did inherit a very challenging situation, but that clip I just showed you of Rachel Reeves a year ago, she said, we inherited a bad situation, but we've wiped the slate clean, and it is now on us, Labour, to make sure taxes don't go up again. She took responsibility there. A year later, she's blaming everybody else still. Absolute joke. Now, let's just, you know what, in times like this, it makes me actually miss Rishi Sunak. What did he say before the election last year?
Mark my words, Labour will raise your taxes. It's in their DNA, your work, your car, your pension.
Thank you. OK,
you name it,
sorry,
Labour will tax it. I said it before, I'll say it again. He is going to put up your taxes,
Thank you.
put up your
Thank
bills
you very much.
as clear as night follows day.
I miss him now. I wanted him out, and I wanted the Tories out at the time. But I tell you what, listening to that, I'm thinking, bring them back. Bring them back for a minute, because at least he was speaking a bit of sense there. He knew, but some of us were a little bit blinded at the general election last year. I think we knew that we all knew that Labour was going to be bad. None of us thought they were going to be amazing, but none of us thought it was actually going to be this bad. And I can't believe that our fiscal position has not improved at all. You took 40 billion quid in people's taxes, and it's like you took that 40 billion and just put it down the drain. You take 40 billion and then you end up creating another 40 billion black hole out of nowhere that you need to fill, and you're back to square one. It's an absolute joke. This is what we have confirmed now, guys. Rachel Reeves told the OBR on Friday she is planning to raise income tax. 2p income tax rise is what she's increasing. People were wondering, is it going to be 1p? Is it going to be 2p? 2p is what we're hearing. Now, she says that's going to be offset by a 2p cut to national insurance so that she can claim working people are being protected. But you are only a working person if you earn under 50 grand, apparently. Apparently, you don't work if you're over 50 grand, because apparently the cut only applies to those earning less than 50 grand. So that means that, well, it is the middle classes who are having to pick up the buck. And the reason why is because they thought that they could tax all the millionaires and rich people, but they've all just swanned off to Dubai and other places. Quite rightly, to be honest. If you're being taxed to death, why wouldn't you do that? Okay, but then there's a big rebellion brewing, because apparently this will include 283,000 NHS staff who are over that 50 grand marker, 137,000 teachers, and you've got police officers, pharmacists, train drivers, key workers, as you may call them, and already a backbench rebellion is brewing. This is in the Telegraph today. Reeves facing revolt over income tax raid that will hit NHS and teachers. Let's take a look at some of the scathing comments coming from Labour MPs. Rachel Reeves is, quote, fighting for her political survival as she prepares to raise taxes on millions of workers in a manifesto breaking budget. Labour MPs have warned a rising number of the Chancellor's backbenchers are criticising her, saying she is, quote, running out of road and that her budget will go down like a bucket of sick. Yeah. Other Labour MPs have started going on the record with their criticisms, saying Miss Reeves will be lucky to be here by Christmas. She has got quite the task dealing with those backbenchers. So as you'll remember, they tried to cut 5 billion quid off the welfare budget. Couldn't do it despite having a huge majority. They had a huge rebellion, but we've now found out they've just given up on trying to cut any spending now. They're just going to go for tax hikes. We have now seen, there have been documents leaked showing that the Labour Party have abandoned their plans to try and reduce the forecast as to how much the benefits budget is going to rise. They've just accepted that huge OBR prediction that it is going to go up and up and up, meaning that by the end of the decade, your average taxpayer is going to be paying £600 a year more to fund the benefits bill. That is an absolute whopping amount. Labour have changed their forecast to say we're just not going to bother to try and bring down that welfare bill anymore. It's too difficult. Remember Rachel Reeves about a year ago? She insisted she's going to have a war on waste. She hasn't mentioned the war on waste at all recently. She's given up on it. Civil servants, has she tried to cut them down? Has she tried to get rid of DEI officers and actually start firing people that don't do their jobs, bring some efficiency in? No. We're just not. They've given up. They've given up on trying to save any money, and they are coming for your money to fund it all. Absolute joke. I cannot believe the amount of lies that came out of Labour's mouth before the general election. I'm sorry, but they will have no credibility left after this budget on November 26th. That's it. They are toast. They are doing badly enough in the polls already, but this is like the final straw, final nail in the coffin for the Labour Party. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Make sure you hit subscribe down below if you've not already. It's free, it massively helps, and it means you will see more news updates from us. Hope you've all managed to go and see a nice service for Remembrance Sunday, or at least go see it on the TV if not, lest we forget.